Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out our kitchen setup for the Appalachian Trail through hike we're going to be completing in 2023. So for our pot, we'll be using the Sea to Summit Alpha aluminum 1.2 liter pot. So the 1.2 liter Sea to Summit Alpha aluminum pot kind of fit our needs perfectly. It held over 4 cups of water, which we need for a few of our meals that we're planning on doing on the trip. Super lightweight, packs down really, really well. Total, it comes in at 6.5 ounces for the pot and the lid, as well as it has a handle to it. So the closure mechanism is also really interesting. You pop off the locking mechanism. The handle folds around and then kind of works to keep the pot closed. So overall, super handy, super awesome to have, and we've used it on multiple trips and are super happy with it. The lid also does come with a kind of interesting mechanism to keep it together. So you can put it here and set the lid on the side and it will actually hold it, so you don't have to lay it in the dirt or anything like that. Primarily we're just going to be using it for boiling water, so there's nothing really that we'll need to do as far as cleaning it out, and if we do decide to cook in it, we'll take care of that. So the Snow Peak 600 titanium cup comes in at 2.8 ounces, and it's a perfect little mug to put our coffee or our mocha that we make with the Starbucks Via Instants and Carnation Instant Breakfast in. We'll be sharing this cup. My wife will be carrying it most of the time, so it's not included in my base weight, but pretty light, super great. So when it came to our eating utensil, we decided to go with the Sea to Summit Alpha aluminum long-handled spoon. Comes in at 0.4 ounces. Fantastic long-handled spoon. I originally did have a Sea to Summit long-handled spork. However, after using it a couple times in a Ziploc bag, just had concerns about possibly puncturing the bag and causing it to leak everywhere with the tines. And pretty much anything that I've eaten with the spoon, never really had any problems as far as scooping it up. No need to really stab anything. So we'll both be going with the Sea to Summit Alpha aluminum long handle spoon, giving us a little bit extra reach to make sure we can get down into the Ziploc bags or any of the mountain house or backpacking meals that we do decide to pick up along the way. So for our stove for the Appalachian Trail, we're planning on using the MSR Pocket Rocket 2. It's a fantastic stove, does reasonably well in wind as well. And with the kind of size of the pot holding wings here, it fits well with our 1.2 liter pot, which we're planning on using. In total, it comes in at 2.6 ounces, so not a heavy stove. It does come usually in a plastic little container, but we're not planning on taking that. If anything, I might throw it in a cloth stove sack that I have from other camp stoves that I have, but that would just be mainly so it doesn't scratch or rattle around as much. So for our fuel, we're planning on taking 2 canisters that are the 100-gram size, so the smaller size. We're planning on doing this mainly because we are boiling about twice as much water as a single person, using it for coffee, using it for oatmeal in the morning and dinners as well. And so with that, we'll plan on using one and then having the secondary one as a backup if we do run out, and then replacing that as we rotate through that. Just a little bit of extra safety precaution. We'll be splitting that. I'll be carrying one, my wife will be carrying the other. So not really any different, just 2 of them for the 2 of us. Now for our fire source, we're planning on carrying the Bic Mini. It's pretty standard. I'll carry one, my wife will have a backup just in case we lose one. But overall, good option. You can't really beat it. Comes in at 0.4 ounces. Always remove the safety. There's no point in having that on there. It just gets annoying. Then when it comes to our water filter, we're planning on using the Katadyn Be Free. So we currently have 2 of the 1 liter bottle and filter combos. We're looking at switching out one of these for a 3 liter combo. That way, kind of just able to carry a little bit more water when we get to our campsites at night, so we don't have to continually go back and forth to the water source, and so that will kind of take care of that. So the The 1 liter setup comes in at 2.2 ounces, and if we do end up going with our 3 liter option for one of these, then we'll give you an update on that and let you know our updated base weight. So 2 of them, 1 for each of us, just so we don't have to always be near each other if we do need to filter water. It's always good to have that redundancy if you do get separated, making sure you have what you need to kind of survive on the trail. Now when it comes to our bear bag, so our bear bag, we decided to go with the Ursack Major XL. So originally we were looking at using the Hilltops Pack custom printed bear bag, hang bag, and we purchased these, got them in, and then within a week the Appalachian Trail posted their update of like, we strongly encourage everyone to be using bear bags now. It's definitely a recommendation, if not going to be enforced, sort of thing. And so we decided just to kind of be safe with it, we would go ahead and switch out to something that is considered bear resistant with that. And so we went with the Ursack Major XL. So we'll be carrying 2 of these with the OP sack, the odor-proof sack, in order to make sure that it kind of cuts down on any scent. We went with the XL just to make sure that we had plenty of space. So the XL is said to be able to carry about 7 days or more of food for 1 person. So our water bottles on the trail, we're planning on using the standard 1 liter smart water bottle that pretty much everyone's planning on using on the AT. We'll be using 2 of those that come in at 1.2 ounces each, so nothing too major, and then just kind of replace them as they get gross. Now when it comes to our rehydration setup, we have made our own DIY rehydration packs. So kind of got this idea and the plan from Darwin on the trail. Watched a lot of his YouTube videos as he went from hiking the AT the first time and just continued on to the other trails and then started his own company. So this was one of his older videos talking about how to make a rehydration pack. Super simple. Go to Walmart, get one of these basically aluminum foil bubble wrap that you use for putting in car windows. They're usually not that expensive. Some duct tape, and we went ahead and put some Velcro patches near the top just to make it a little bit easier to close and open. It does kind of have a wider base in order to help it sit up correctly, and it fits our quart size Ziploc bags pretty well. So planning on using quart size Ziploc bags that are resealable for our rehydration meals. These ones have the open bottom. That way it's a little bit easier to keep it from tipping over or getting top heavy. So for our meals themselves, we're planning on sticking to somewhat of a general basis when it comes to our evening meals and our morning meals, and then our lunches will kind of be a little bit more flexible. So most of the time for the morning, I already mentioned we're going to be drinking our Starbucks via instant mixed with our Carnation instant breakfast for a little bit extra calories and nutrients with that, as well as eating oatmeal. So I've always eaten oatmeal on backpacking trips, really enjoy it, and so we'll kind of stick to that unless we find some bars or something else that really kind of surprise us. So then for lunches, we're going to kind of be taking a more flexible approach on it, so sticking to bars and trail snacks throughout the day, and going with a salty sort of chip and some sort of nuts or peanut butter for lunches. So my wife is allergic to peanut butter, and so she has a couple ideas on her plan for that. If you have any other thoughts on how you have hiked the Appalachian Trail or gone on backpacking trips with nut allergies as replacements for that, please let us know in the comments. We're still continuing to learn with that and trying out different ideas to kind of dial in exactly what works best for her. When it comes to dinner, we are using that rehydration pack. With that, we kind of have a base that we're going to start with. So it can either be the Knorr rice sides, the Knorr pasta sides, or ramen. So with ramen, you're getting about 370 calories per container. The pasta sides is about 470 per container, but that's if you put the butter in it. So you're going to lose a little bit per that. And then 270 for this specific rice side. So we generally start with one of these. Then we add our protein, and so we usually go with like a tuna or chicken creation, something like this. This adds 110 calories as well as you're getting that 18 grams of protein, which is super nice, convenient, simple packages, and you're getting a lot of different flavors. And then lastly, we go with some instant potatoes to kind of add a little bit extra filling to it. And so with this, there's 110 calories per serving, 4 servings per container. So you're getting about 440 if you're using the whole thing. So on the Colorado Trail, when my wife and I hiked that, we did 70 miles this last summer. This kind of was a good setup for us. We were able to choose our main part of it and kind of find a meat that went along with it well and kind of mix and match those flavor combinations. And then we would split the mashed potatoes. The full one was a little bit too much at that point, but once hiker hunger kicks in, who knows what's going to happen. Another thing that's super big for me is, having good flavor with my meals. So on the trail, I generally like to take some spices. So I have some old film containers where I like to put some spices, and there's 3 that I generally rotate through. So I got my Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, fantastic flavor, good for adding flavor to anything really. I got my Cosmos salt, pepper, garlic. This is a fantastic, just simple salt, pepper, and garlic. Great on pretty much anything too. And then lastly, we got some everything but the bagel seasoning. So depending on what flavor combinations I've set up with these 3, finding one of these that kind of complements that and adds that extra kick of flavor is super nice. Let me know down in the comments if you have any other thoughts on possible meal setups that you used on the Appalachian Trail or backpacking that we might give a shot, as well as anything that you might use to spice up the meal, make it a little bit more flavorful and interesting. So that's kind of it for our kitchen setup with our pot, spoon, stove, lighter, water filter, bear bags, rehydration packs, spices, as well as our water bottles. That comes in at 1.74 pounds. So 1 3/4 pounds for our full kitchen setup. And like I mentioned, my wife will be carrying a few of the things, including backup fuel, the Snow Peak 600, her own spoon, things like that. So not too bad of a kitchen setup. We'll kind of see how it works out and dial it in.